This is a $200 prime rib, okay? I would not do this if I did not 100% believe that this is the best way to make a prime rib. What you want to do is marinate it submerged in milk. So we're going to add a gallon of whole milk. We're going to add some of our Tony Chachere's Cajun injection butter, and we're going to inject the heck out of this. So let's get it submerged. It's going to dilute in there, so it's not really going to make it that spicy. It's just adding a little flavor in there. Get that injection butter mixed with the milk. Grab our injector. We're going to inject. And we're just going to continue to do this for about 5 minutes or so. We're going to get tons of this milk injected into our prime rib. Now we're going to flip it over on its side. So we got the ends, and now we're getting the middle. Now we're just going to let it marinate for 24 hours. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll show you how to finish this bad boy off. All right, y'all, it's been 24 hours. We're going to pull this out. Look at that. We're going to let this sit out for 2 hours. That's right, 2 hours, because when this prime rib sits in this super cold
trash,
it gets that internal temperature super cold. So we want to let this get to a room temperature before we ever go in the oven with this. We're going to pat it off. We're going to get it dry. I'm going to go on and cut these bones off. It's going to help it get to room temperature. So we're simply going to go down this back side, cut in towards the bone. And there's that. You see this big hunk of fat? We're just going to trim a little bit of that off. We're also going to go in here and remove part of this fat cap off. There's no need for that. You see how this is all wanting to fall apart? Get your butcher's twine. This is how
it's falling apart because you put all that.
3, 4. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. That, I'm pretty simple. I just tie a simple knot. It's going to hold our meat together. Now we let it rest. So now I'm going to attempt to take the ribs, and that's what we're going to make our au jus with. Let's do it. Throw them in our Instant Pot. 1 large yellow onion, big chunks. Throw that right in. Just a couple carrots. A bunch of celery. Now let's flavor it up. We're going to go in with a heaping tablespoon of this beef broth paste. Get that in there. Half a stick of butter. 1 whole head of garlic. We're going to cut the end off. Try and cut the root end off. And there's all our little garlics. We'll just add those in. Now it's time for the Dan-O's Original. That's the green top. This is amazing for making any sort of broth. So we're going to add us a good, probably 2 tablespoons of the Dan-O's OG. And now for the last step, we're going to add 2 cups of water.
He's using more on that than he did on that.
You might think, oh, you need more water in there. You really don't, because those vegetables are going to create a lot of broth as well. So we're going to do this for 2 hours. That's going to extract all that flavor out of the bones and out of the meat. And hopefully this ends up being some awesome au jus. So we're going to give it 2 hours high temp. All right, we have rested for 2 hours. Look at that. So it's time to season this bad boy up, and we're going into our oven.
Wait.
Upside down.
It's rested for 2 hours. You done put milk, left it out in meat for 2 hours. So now you got curdled milk. Okay.
Going in with a couple big scoops of some mayonnaise. We're going to go in with some stone ground mustard. And now it's time to take this thing to the next level. The Dan-O's Primo. Look at this, you guys. This is black garlic, black pepper, sea salt. It's got rosemary in there. It's even got black cumin, flavors you never had before. A little bit of Aleppo flake. So we're going to go in with a bunch of this into our mix. We're going to get that mixed up. Now, I'm simply going to rub this in. Smells amazing, actually. Nice and coated, just like that.
It'll smell like rotten ass milk.
Now we're going to pop the top on our Primo again. Give it another nice little coating, just like that. So now you need one of these in a baking pan. They're right in the middle. Now we're going to go in with the rest of our mayonnaise. Rub it on the top. Now it's time for the last sprinkle. And now into our 275 degree oven we go, just like that. It's been 2 hours. All right, come look at this. Look at how tender that rib is. Wow. All right, we're going to try that. I mean, that's phenomenal. It's basically a pot roast. That is really good.
Yeah, that's basically what you did.
Now we got our meat set to the side. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put everything back in here. Strain out the big stuff. And that's going to be our au jus. Add our juice to our pot. I'm gonna add a little bit of this browning sauce. I tried this stuff by itself and it's super potent, so you don't want to use a lot. This is gonna help us get that dark color, I hope. That's what we wanted. It's lacking one thing. We'll salt it up a little bit. All right, so our flavor is off the charts, but I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try and take the fat out of this. All right, you guys, 2 hours at 275. The last 50 minutes, it's been at 300, so I raised it. We're at 118 now. We're gonna crank this up all the way to 500, and now we're gonna get a crust on it. All right, look, you can see
You're gonna burn the piss out of it.
Freezer for about an hour. You can pull the grease right off the top, and then if we want to add some of this grease back in, we totally can. So I'm basically going to pull almost all of it out. We'll leave that last little bit in there. Now we're going to heat this up, bring it back to a boil. We're going to try it, see how it is. All right, let's give it a test. There is no reason to be eating that. I'm not adding any of that back in there. That's amazing. Y'all need to follow that recipe. All right, my friends. It's time. Now we're just going to let
burn
it
it
rest
black.
for a good hour. Oh, yeah, while this rests, make sure you cover it up. Like that. Time for the moment of truth. Look how juicy that is. Wow. Look, I'm going to give it a little one of them. Wow.
You fucking burn it.
Pull that off. If you gently pull it and press down, you can kind of keep your crust on. Look at that. Learn something. Remove our strings. Get back to cutting. It smells amazing. Wow.
Man, you shaking the damn table. You done
That
cooked
is so
shit out
tender.
of it.
I'm telling y'all, that's why we do the milk marinade. Look at that. Let's just try it by itself. Nope. Nobody
nope.
is making a prime rib that tender without milk marinating. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at this. Dipping our au jus. The homemade horseradish sauce right there. That is insane how tender this is, how juicy this is. Best prime rib you're ever going to have. That's the best one I've ever made. And I know it's not even perfectly cooked. I mean, you got a little pinky on the inside, maybe a little more well done on the outside. It's not what I wanted, but this is the most tender prime rib you're ever going to have. Try it. Thank me later. Love y'all. We'll see you next time. Keep sprinkling.
Yeah.
And that's the yum yum. Get you some.